Good evening. Good evening. The hell? That was pretty loud. Okay. All right. Hi, guys. Good evening. I am going to wait for folks to proliferate before getting into this one. A few topics to discuss. Let me actually see if I can get. All right. There we go. And I'm going to have to check to see if this audio is working correctly because, hi, Honesty, how are you? Honesty, can you tell me, is my microphone working okay? What's my sound quality like? Because I've been having some sound issues. Can you tell me what my sound quality and sync is like, the video and sound quality sync, to make sure that my sound and my video is on point? Let me know if my sound and video is on point. Honesty, and welcome to the show. It's perfect. Okay, good. Where are you calling in from? I don't think I've seen you before. And I mean, you must be a member because I know it's members only chat. So you must be a member, but I haven't, I don't know if I've seen you before. Where are you calling in from? Where are you calling in from? Houston. Okay. Houston. That's a place I've never been. I've never been to Houston before. I would like to go, but I've never actually been. That is a place I would definitely like to check out at some point. Houston, Texas. I've heard a lot about Austin as well, but it seems like there's a conflicting viewpoint. Some people say Austin is good. Some people say it's bad. Some people say Houston is good. Some people say it's bad. Yeah, listen, I was thinking of coming to Houston very soon. The thing is, where I am now, it's so far away. To get all the way over there, it's challenging. I can't just up and leave, so to speak. But what we're going to be talking about today, some really, really good good topics. Just left where? Where did you just leave? Houston? Where did you just leave? But we're going to be talking about some really interesting topics, really important ones. Two specific topics that are somewhat interconnected. Two topics that are somewhat interconnected that we're going to be talking about today. And hopefully we will have no technical difficulties. Oh, you just left Austin. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And where are you from, Honesty? What's your background? What is your background? Let me see where everybody is today. Louisiana, yeah. But okay, so you're American, Black American, or are you African heritage? What's your background? Welcome to the show, everybody that's coming in. Feel free to like and share and let people know that we are live now. This is the Sunday show with the Muck. The Sunday show. Been to a few African countries. I hope you've got the Back to Africa handbook. I hope that you're on the wait list. It's not yet released, but I hope you're on the wait list. The link is in the description of this live. So, I hope you're on the wait list for the Back to Africa handbook. If you're not, make sure you get on the wait list and you share that link with everybody who you think would be interested in learning about the ins and outs of repatriation or visiting Africa. The handbook is going to be coming out on the 1st of November, the ebook. But what we're going to be talking about today are two very important topics. But first of all, before we get into, actually, you know what? Let me throw this up. Actually, let me throw this up. We're going to be talking about the BRICS Summit 2024 review. We're going to be reviewing the BRICS Summit 2024. And, the Western Bloc is under attack from all corners, as you can see on the screen. That is what it's looking like, That's what it's looking like. Yes, Honesty, make sure that you sign up right now. The link is in the description. Make sure that you sign up right now. This is going to be a very, very quick, hard-hitting show. We're going to just talk about these things and get up and out of here. So I'm not going to hold you guys too long. We're going to talk about two topics. We're going to talk about the BRICS Summit review, and then we're going to talk about the ECO, which is the ECOWAS. Well, as I said, it's not just ECOWAS, but it's a new currency that ECOWAS is now trying to introduce for West Africa. So we'll be talking about that as well. Let me pull up some of my notes. Oh, man. What a time. What a time. All right. I'm trying to see the new countries. Okay, yeah, we've got this here. All right. All right. Excellent. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the show. All right, so let's get into this conversation. So, as a lot of you will know, because I've talked about this quite a lot, and this is obviously big news. It's not going to be big news in mainstream media and Western media, but it's main news, big news for everybody who is of African descent, and it is that the BRICS coalition. So BRICS initially, well, it stood for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, but many other countries have now joined. So BRICS is just the founding members' names, but there are other countries that have joined. And it is an alternative economic bloc of countries that are pushing back against, obviously, the Western-dominated world economy. And I'm talking about everything from import, exports to currency, financial systems, and so on and so forth. So they're doing that, and they've been expanding. They've been expanding aggressively, and they just had a summit. Well, I don't know if the summit is still going, but there's been a summit, the recent one, BRICS Summit 2024, and a lot of events or revelations have come out of it. But obviously, because of the situation that is happening in Russia now with the Russia-Ukraine conflict, this has now obviously become even more magnified in terms of relevance, what is going on with the BRICS coalition. So the latest thing now is that there have been a number of countries that have now joined BRICS, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, are joining to expand BRICS. Argentina dropped out even though they were invited. And, there's some guy called Milei who's a clown, as far as I'm concerned, It seems that we've got a lot of clowns out there leading countries. But this is a guy who apparently, as far as I've heard, is a big Donald Trump fan. He's basically right-wing, very, I don't know, can I call him racist? Yeah. The kind of things he said, he seems very much on that side of the fence. And look, it's Argentina, so it's not like we should be surprised by any of that sort of business. But regardless, they were invited to BRICS. He then won, got into office, and then withdrew Argentina from BRICS. And of course, he's going to withdraw it because he's essentially a US lackey. So he doesn't want to do anything that goes against the Western Bloc, because even though this is a South American country, Argentina thinks that they are European, basically. They think that they're from Europe. And anybody who knows Argentina knows that. That is a country in the middle of a brown continent that thinks they are categorically white. And they've done everything in their power to make it so. These are just the realities of the situation. Go and look at the situation over in Argentina and get back to me if you disbelieve. These are the facts. These are the facts. They think they're Italian, basically. They think that they're a little mini Europe in the middle of South America. And they've done a hell of a lot to keep themselves that way. That being said, Malay withdrew from BRICS, and that actually really annoyed me. Let me tell you why it annoyed me. Let's just really break this down. It annoyed me because I was like, hang on a second. There are African countries who really want to be part of this thing, who actually have real, genuine resources. You're not inviting those African nations. You're inviting Argentina. And these guys have the gall to reject the invitation. See now. That's the sort of nonsense that I'm talking about, guys. It's the sort of nonsense that I'm talking about. That stuff just is unacceptable as far as I'm concerned. It's unacceptable. That being said, that is the situation. So Argentina didn't join. The BRICS Summit happens now, and they've been talking about, and this is one of the big things that came out of the conversations that they're having. So, you know, Vladimir is there, Modi is there, Xi. What's the name of the Chinese president again? Is it Xi Jinping? Guys, can you type the Chinese president's name in the chat? Because I don't remember. I keep forgetting what his actual name is. I think it's Z. I know it's Z something, XI something. Either way, he spoke to Modi, the Indian prime minister or president leader, for the first time in, I think, something like 5 years or something. I don't think that they've spoken in ages, you know. Xi Jinping, yeah, okay, I was right. Thank you, honesty. So I don't think that they've spoken in ages because there's a border dispute that India and China have had for years. So they've had a border dispute which has spilled over into so many things. So, for example, you can't even use TikTok in India anymore because they banned TikTok in India, just as an example of the strained relationship that China and India have. So they hadn't talked in a while, and now for the first time in this summit, they spoke, you know, which is a big deal, and they're coming to agreements to bury the hatchet, so to speak, for future endeavors. So that's one positive thing that has come out of it, is the fact that that relationship is being repaired. In addition, and this is actually a very, very big development, is that they've been talking about, well, Russia anyway, and Vladimir Putin is pushing for BRICS nations using their own currencies for trade. So that if they want to buy and sell goods, they use their own currencies in the interim until BRICS develops their own currency. And they want to stop having the situation where the standard currency of trade is the dollar. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Because what that is going to effectively do is strengthen these individual countries' currencies and value of their currencies. And it's going to severely weaken the dollar, because if people are like, these are major resource-rich countries, and they're trading with each other, and they say that, listen, if you want to trade, you've got to trade in our own currency. The only reason why the dollar is in the position that it's in is because they've mandated, like the petrodollar with Middle East and everything, they've mandated the use of the US dollar in all international trade. That's the only reason why it means anything. So if they change that, guys, we've got a whole other thing coming. We've got a whole other thing coming. So that's that as well. So I look at that and I say to myself that, and it's going to take me into the other topic that we'll discuss in a little bit, but this is a very, very big thing for Africa. It's a really, really big deal, because having another option, a genuine alternative to doing business with America and UK and France on their criteria, It's a big deal. Whoever it is, the fact that they have an option, and now these countries are expanding membership, and they're also now thinking about trading in their own currency. Can you imagine? And this is not, look, Nigeria is a mess, so I'm not even going to try and act as if this is going to solve Nigeria's problems. But just the fact that Nigeria could potentially, with all its resources, start trading with Naira. Do you know how much that improves the value of your currency? If you mandate that, listen, if you want to buy our oil, you've got to use our own money. That's a big deal. And I'm surprised that it has taken so long for something like this to happen. I'm surprised that it has taken so long for there to be a situation where, and do you know what is so weird about it? The fact that the people who are pushing for these things aren't even the African countries. It's not even the African countries. Yes, honesty, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a very, very big deal. Honesty, do you have a camera? Do you want to come into the show? Do you have thoughts? Do you have a mic or your cam? And I can bring you in if you have thoughts or commentary on this particular story before I move on. Or even if I move on. But there you have it, guys. I mean, you know, it's interesting to me. And I had a video, and I haven't posted it, where I was asking the question as to why Western media is not reporting on the Sahel Alliance. I had a video about that, and I didn't post it. I'm still thinking about it. But again, it comes to this as well when you look at the BRICS Summit. The BRICS Summit is happening right now. And if you didn't know what to be looking for and what story to be looking for, you wouldn't even know it was happening if you're in a Western country. It is not on the news. It's not a thing that people are talking about. And you know what's even crazier is that even in African media, it isn't a big story, as in where everybody is talking about it the way that they should be. You know, it's unacceptable. Honesty, I mean, you know, look, you know, that's the natural look. Nobody's gonna hold it against you. Honesty is saying that they're not in a position to be in the show. I'm like, nah, you know, it doesn't matter. It's all about the content and the substance that you bring to the table. You know, that's all that really matters. That is all that really matters. In fact, I'll send you the link. Let me send you the link. If you're a member, you know, that's part of the privilege of membership. It's part of the privilege of membership. You know, to be able to engage in these conversations directly. Because, see, this is what I like about this when I do it this way, because there's not a lot of noise, and we can have a really concentrated and focused conversation about the topics. You know? So, it's obviously not going to be reported, and I understand that. But I think that things are now getting to such a critical level. They're getting to such a critical level that I think it's going to be difficult to ignore soon. I think things are going to accelerate so fast that it will be difficult for mainstream to ignore these stories. I honestly believe that. Good honesty, I'm glad. How long have you been on the platform? How long have you been following? When did you join the membership? How long have you been here? You know. So anyway, this brings me on to the next topic in this conversation. So I looked at this and I said, BRICS is coming. Nobody wants to talk about it. But also in the wings, there is a currency that is being pushed, an ECOWAS currency called the ECO. I knew about this currency because I made a video, you know, the franc zone, about the CFA franc, which you should all watch. I keep telling you that. Make sure you've watched it on my channel if you've not seen it. And when I made that video, you know, part of my research, is I got to the end, and it was about how, look, the CFA franc is a French neo-colonial financial system, monetary system, where they've essentially forced 14 West African countries to use this currency, which is connected and pegged against the euro and is controlled by France, basically. So France is controlling the finances of 14 West African countries. All of this began right after World War II to the very present day. And multiple presidents who have tried to break away from it have been unalived, removed, and so forth. Thank you, Honesty. Glad to know. Glad to know. I'm glad you've been enjoying these conversations. These are very good conversations, I agree. I think these are important things to talk about. And I like, on a Sunday evening, get the mic, and sit down and just chat to the community about what's really going on. Also to take an opportunity to say thank you to all my members, whether you're listening to this on the YouTube membership, Patreon, or the newsletter membership. I'm very grateful for the support. It allows me to continue to do the work that I'm doing. The Back to Africa handbook, like I said, is coming out soon. Look out for that. I have a slew of other materials, very exciting materials that are going to be on the way. A slew that is definitely on the way. Now, I looked at this and I said, okay, you have the CFA franc. You've been controlling West Africa for all this time. And when I got to the end of that video, I talked about the ECHO, which is France's answer to the critics of the CFA franc, saying that, they're creating a new financial system that is going to replace the CFA, which is better, more transparent, and all of this other talk that they were talking about. Now, there's obviously an elephant in the room when it comes to this, because they've got ECOWAS backing it. ECOWAS, which we all know, is not for Africa, but it is a mouthpiece for the Western nations. That is really what ECOWAS is. Because the amount of times that ECOWAS has sanctioned African countries that are trying to buck the trend and go up against neocolonialism is crazy. Most notably and recently, the Sahel Alliance, where ECOWAS, headed by Nigeria, boycotted everybody in the Sahel. That is what ECOWAS is used for. Now, ECOWAS is who is backing this ECO currency via France. This ECO currency is connected to France, people. It's connected to France. Now, they want to tell you that you're breaking away from somebody who has been screwing you over for all of these decades to move to another currency that is controlled by that same nation. This is why the BRICS thing matters, because BRICS is an alternative to all of this. It's an alternative to all of this. And I think that it's about time that we did something a little bit different. I honestly do. Because I look at it, and what makes them think that these 14 countries would move over to another currency controlled by the same people? Because they tell you that, this one that we have is better for you. And when I looked into it, the criteria that these countries would have to fulfill in order to use this ECHO thing is crazy. It's basically like structural adjustment programs and all the debt, foreign aid debts that I'd been talking about, replicated in this situation. It's replicated in this situation. But yeah, guys, it's truly unacceptable. Truly unacceptable. I'm actually looking here. Let me see if okay, no. Man. But welcome to the show, guys. Everybody who's joining, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. We're just having a relaxing night. I am actually myself, I'm exhausted. It's been a long weekend. A very, very long weekend. So look, I looked at this and I said to myself that, look, everything is happening at the same time. Like we have the Sahel Alliance is going on at the same time that there's issues in South Africa. At the same time now where BRICS thing is now looking like it is now more than serious. Because remember, like a few years ago, people were questioning as to whether it was going to survive. And now, it's expanding and it's got multiple, so many countries vying for an opportunity to be part of it. Yes, no, I agree. They do have to drop ECOWAS. Listen, this is the problem I said. ECOWAS is backing a currency that is essentially a French currency. That's what they're doing by backing this ECO thing. That is crazy to me. It's crazy that they believe that people will be cool with it. That's what's crazy to me. That they believe that people will be okay with something like that. And it comes down to people just not paying attention. That's really what the problem is. People just not paying attention. And then before you know it, you look left, you look right, it's already happened. Because remember, if these guys are able to implement something like this, it's not like they're going to ask the community and the population if they do or do not want it. That is the way Africa always works. It just gets decided on without you. And they just do it. They just do it. Honesty, yes. Look, you're right. But I think, in general, we also have a responsibility to be more vigilant as a community, just to make it harder for a lot of these things to happen. We've got to take some responsibility. But there it is, that is what they're doing. I think once I heard that this was an ECOWAS-backed currency, it's maybe it shouldn't have raised my eyebrows, but it did. Maybe it shouldn't have. But anyway, guys, look, that's the update. I will be back later I will, just keep your eyes peeled on all the announcements and everything that is going on. What I'm actually going to be talking about as well, and this is, obviously going to be more historical. I'm definitely focusing now a lot on the historical materials that I'm making. The current affairs stuff is cool, but there's so much about history that we don't know that I'm really, really pushing into that now, to basically return to obviously the kind of material that puts me where I am on the platform. That is what I'm going to be doing. That being said, guys, thank you for joining. Like I said, check out the links in the description. The Back to Africa Handbook waitlist is available right now. Definitely get on that. And I'm looking forward to a lot of the things that we're going to be doing as we round out the year, guys.